Are you ready to be hazed or gagged? Well, get ready for both with this episode. Grab your paddle and let's get ready.
It's Emily and Alex with another episode of Gag Me with a Knife. This episode, we're going to be talking about Sorority House Massacre from 1986. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Okay. So I have the VHS from the Massacre collection, which I thought I only had one of these left, but I actually have this and part two that I have left from my original collection. So anyway, this is what it says on the back of the VHS. When Beth comes to visit her friends at the sorority, she gets a strange feeling about the house. It seems hauntingly familiar. The girls just want to have fun, but Beth suffers from nightmares of a knife-wielding killer. Little does she know a dangerous psycho has just escaped from the mental ward and is heading straight for the sorority. Sorry, it's an exclamation point at the end. The girls' night of fun quickly becomes a night of terror as the killer stalks them one by one. That's the end of the intro. That's all. It's on the back.
That's exactly as I would have expected it.
For what? Okay. Also, when it talks about the sorority, which it doesn't name, which I've realized we've had an issue with that talking about it. But it just calls it sorority with a capital S. So it's like, it's the sorority is called, like, that's the personal pronoun. It's called sorority.
Okay, well, we'll just call it sorority. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So what did you think of this? Because you just rewatched it, didn't you?
I did just finish it about 30 minutes ago. And I have to preface my entire review by just saying this story is very based, even with that description on the back of the box, this is basically Halloween in a sorority. They even have the same characters' names. They have a Laura when there's a Lori. They both have a Linda, but one has an I, one's got a Y, and then there's a Bob. I mean, it's just, and the music at the opening music is very reminiscent to me of the dun 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 dun. No, it's the same style synth. It's just like, So that aside, I can't understand for the life of us why I think we both loved this so much growing up.
I don't either. I mean, I still enjoy it, but that's only pure nostalgia. That is the only reason that I know that I like it now.
Yeah,
is because of that. That's it.
Pure nostalgia. Like, I definitely know that I still enjoy the sequel because I laugh a whole lot in the sequel. The first one is just, it's a lot more serious vibes going on, and they're supposed to be serious vibes going on. Yeah. I think the second one knows it's more of a comedy, or at least I hope it knows, because it does that well. But this one, again, I enjoy it. But if I'm gonna spend an hour and a half, I'm just gonna turn on Halloween.
I would actually rather watch this than Halloween. I'm be honest. I don't like Halloween very much.
That's true.
So I probably would rather watch this, but that's not really saying. I don't think this is better than Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot more. I mean, this has different entertaining factors where, like, I don't laugh hardly at all in Halloween. I laughed a lot in Sorority House Massacre due to all kinds of things that I'm sure we'll be getting into: the deaths and or lack thereof, the fashion and or lack thereof, the quotes and the emotions or lack thereof. I mean, we're probably gonna be getting into a lot of this. So let's kick it off. So what do you got going on here first?
What do I think? Well, okay. I mean, there's just a lot wrong with this movie. I mean, I knew that it was so bad it's good kind of vibe, but it's not bad enough to where it's like The Last Slumber Party bad. So it's kind of confusing because it's got like pretty good production quality, I feel like. And so it kind of takes you out of the element of being so bad it's good, because it's like looks like it was probably released in theaters. I think it was like probably limitedly. But I mean, it looks like it was like it's not filmed on just like home recorder.
No, I'm pretty sure there was probably a limited theatrical push on this one for sure.
But oh my God, okay, first of all, so I took notes while I watched it just because, like, I couldn't believe, like, I started it and I was like, well, first of all, my roommate that I've been friends with forever was like, oh, God, you watch this all the time? And I was like, I really don't watch this all the time, first of all. I was like, I've watched this, like, once in the last, like, 3 or 4 years, maybe. But I guess I've watched this one
Oh my God.
more than others.
You'll be sad. I've probably watched it at least 10 times in 7 years because I know that I've made my husband watch it at least 9 times.
God.
Oops.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've watched it quite a few times. So, first of all, did you notice that when they're in class, okay, I know this is COVID times, so you like are expecting to see people really far apart from each other, but they're so close. They're sitting like an inch away from each other in class. Do you notice that when they all turn around and look at her, it's like they're on top of her, and it's like, oh my God, like you're literally sitting to where you can't even you wouldn't be able to get out of the desk.
And I don't know if it was that or if we were given an optical illusion because when optical illusion.
Yeah, I know that's one question.
I mean that because of the fact.
No, I know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
She's wearing her outfit. Her pants are small black and white checks, and her top is big black and white checks. So
and then she's wearing a pink sweater, which that girl Sarah asked her if she had one she could wear, and she was like, no. And then she's wearing one in the next scene.
Yeah, bitch.
What a bitch. And I mean, like, she doesn't have like much room in her personality to be like losing friends because she has such a rotten personality. It's like,
is she new to the sorority?
No, well, according to the back of the box, she's just visiting. Bullshit.
Oh.
She's friends with Linda, and they give her a room. I mean, it seems that they're giving her a room. She's not like just staying with somebody because she's in her own room.
But and they're coming though. Like there's like an off season, right? Like or
it's like it feels like it's like they're just it's maybe spring break, maybe winter break.
Because this sorority only had like 5 girls, and I ain't going there.
No, I mean, well, one girl's leaving at the beginning, but she's coming back. I mean, like it seems like they're packing up for winter holiday or who knows what holiday. They're not wearing Well, she's wearing a sweater, but they're wearing like it's. Bikini, I don't know. The one girl's wearing like half of a shirt. So, I don't know. Okay.
But Beth picked a real banging time to visit a sorority, just saying.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And like, because her aunt had just died. So, like, none of it, they don't explain. There are all these like plot holes with like why she's even there. Like, you're just supposed to, like, okay, yeah, when I was younger, okay, I just was supposed to accept that she was just staying there. Like, she was just there. But who would like have their mother figure just die and then no one knows that was the house that she was like her family lived in. Like no one just like someone would know that just seeing it.
Well, and that's what I was thinking
go back.
Too. Like, first of all, is this plausible? Is her memory block plausible? Do you really forget a house, a whole fucking house?
A whole family? No, because she said she was 5.
And I guess dreaming of the house too. So she sees the house in her dream. So it's like, how do you really, and how are you not like, those are my initials? I mean, like on the house.
Because and see, that's one thing. Because at the beginning you're like, well, maybe you could, because with like a serious trauma, people do forget like whole things happening. So okay, maybe. But like the first 5 whole years of your life, and the fact that she does know that her name is Laura Beth,
and she's dreaming of the house.
Because at the end she goes, my middle name is Beth, and I
middle name.
Yeah, so she knows her own name. I'm just like, I mean, I guess we're just supposed to be handed that and be like,
her suitcase said LBH too. I mean, like, so she sees that order of initials, LBH, not BLH. She sees that enough.
She knows. I mean, no, she knows because at the end she said that. She says that's my middle name, so she knows that. Yeah, she says that to Linda.
Yeah. Between that happening, her visiting this sorority or just sorority, when nobody's there, but yet they're building this, they're building this teepee in the backyard for some reason. Like, I mean,
because they call their meetings powwows, but they're not having a whole meeting because at the beginning you're led to believe they are closing, or they're just like a few people left behind for some kind of holiday. Yeah, they're like for a longer than a weekend probably. But actually, I don't know if it's longer than a weekend because Steve's going rafting. So, I mean, is he going rafting for that long?
He's going rafting.
Yeah, she says it twice. So, I mean, I don't know. So she lives with her aunt because her whole family was killed, but they never tell her anything. Like, they don't even tell her that her family was murdered because she has, like, not only does she have no memory of what happened, she has no memory of anything. Like she acts like she doesn't even know she had a family.
What if she woke up?
She has no clue what happened to him.
looked in the mirror and like literally thought that she was Courtney Cox.
What?
Like, 'cause she kind of looks like her. So what if Courtney Cox is real in this universe, in this fictional universe? And she's like, no, didn't you all see me in the Bruce Springsteen video? Like, that was me. I'm not Beth or Laura. I'm Courtney Cox, yo.
Yeah, no, it makes just no. Like, why would you live with your aunt and she never even tells you that your family was murdered?
Why don't we ask Angela Peter Baker why you live with your aunt?
True. Well, there you go. Yeah, but like, I think it's funny. Well. No, I think it's funny because when he gets out, that first they tell, the guy that looks like Ernest in the hospital.
Oh my God.
He looks just like Ernest. Yeah. They're like, go, he goes, he calls her psychiatrist and she doesn't even act like it's that much of an emergency. First of all, she stays at her home the whole time. So she's just like, whatever. And she's like, oh, I guess check this house. And he's like, oh, no one was there. And she's like, oh, wow. Yeah. He wouldn't actually even know that house because she's like, well, he might've gone back to kill her at her aunt's. Well, she's like, actually, never mind. He didn't even know that. Like, he never knew about that house or anything. So just check the original house. No shit. Right? Oh, it's been changed to a sorority called the Sorority.
Yeah, I mean, and he's clearly on his way somewhere with the vengeance because after he does his breakout, he literally like hops over this 20 fucking foot fence like he's on a trampoline from Bounce House America. Did you notice
that they had a barbed wire around it, and then when he was like actually jumping over it, it like took it away?
God. Yep. Did you notice that like it wasn't even him jumping down from the fence? It was this guy had curly hair jumping down from the fence, and then I mean, like so much wrong. And then it's like this is something mental institute. It's like a brick. It's like a memory. It's like a brick, like the size of a computer monitor for an entire mental institute or mental asylum or whatever they call it. It's like you can barely see it. Great publicity. Great like.
Well, I don't think they would have publicized the place.
Well, what is this building? This is. I'm going to this mental hospital. Oh, okay, yeah, you'll see it. There's a huge sign. Actually, it's the size of a laptop monitor. I mean, it just.
That's true. Well,
he could have crushed it.
Yeah. So Bobby escapes, but I don't even know why. Okay, honestly, I guess I just have to deal with the fact that I hate the lead character. She's so boring. And she sucks the life out of the whole movie almost. I mean, she's literally sucks the life out of, like, she like just takes everything away from the whole movie and she just sucks it into herself and then she gives nothing out. And so it's just like everything's like, she's like a big old sponge in the movie.
I'd want to kill her too, Bobby. Go for it.
Yeah, maybe he was just trying to kill you the whole time. Maybe you should think about that.
It was pretty funny when before he broke out and he was going through that like brain test with that looks like a dream brain mapping with the waves and the pins, and then all of a sudden he's like Laura, and then like screams and falls to the floor. Like yeah, and that was more energetic than she did the entire movie combined.
Yeah, he is pretty awful too as a killer, as like a personality, but I guess I see where he gets like same.
I mean, he says two words the whole movie. He says Laura or Janet the whole movie.
It's Janet.
Janet, he keeps saying?
Oh, it's a sister, yeah.
Yeah, when he makes that one girl look like Janet.
Yeah. No, okay. So you said something about the TP because Tracy decides she's going to get out stuff for them to have a powwow, even though they can't have a full meeting because they're on break. So whatever. I mean, I'm just saying they can't have a full meeting. They're not saying that. That's another thing that doesn't make sense. So she they don't
have a full quorum.
No. So she decides to get out shit to be the most like racially insensitive thing.
Like she really pulls out an Indian statue.
And they don't even use it. She like it's not even really there for any reason after that. It's not even there for anyone to like fall over.
It's in the backyard.
Yeah, it's just standing there.
It doesn't make any sense.
And so, but she has like a teepee. I mean, it's so rude to Native Americans. Like
horrible.
It is. So, and then also I noted that like, so her like Tracy, not Beth, not the main character, who really isn't the main character in my opinion because she's so fucking boring.
Oh, Linda's the main character. We'll get to Linda, I'm sure.
But Tracy's pretty interesting, and she's like, so they have this really great montage where they're dressing up in this one girl's clothes that's not there.
Wait, you said that's a really great montage?
Well, yeah, but then the worst, it's awful.
Oh.
But Tracy's like, it's my wish. It's like her Make-A-Wish Foundation wish is like to try on this girl's clothes. Like, get a life. And
Like,
Sarah's like, I'm eating ice cream. Like, what would you do if you had if you had a chance to do anything you wanted to? And Sarah's like, eat every ounce of ice cream. What? Like, that's really your...
Oh.
No, it's trying this girl's clothes on. Both are equally bad.
You know what mine would have been in that exact moment? If I had been Beth, I would have looked at her and said, "Can I," to Sarah, and I would have been like, "Can I scratch your shirt and see if it smells? Like, do the snozberries smell and taste like snozberries? Because you're looking like you got lickable wallpaper on." That's well, I'd want to try on new clothes too. I don't care how hideous the 80s they are if I was wearing lickable wallpaper.
I seem to really like that outfit, though. I don't know why.
You do?
No, she seems to.
Oh.
I didn't. I mean, it was pretty bad. But I mean, I think Tracy's was. Is that the character's name, or is that the girl's name that they were trying her clothes on? No. Yeah, that's her name.
I don't know the girl's name that wasn't there. Sarah's one of the girls.
Yeah, well,
Sarah, Tracy, Linda, and Beth are there.
Tracy's
Craig's girlfriend.
Her, yeah, I know, but her.
Craig's little sister.
Craig's. We're gonna have to pause this.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. No. Tracy's like shoulder pads are just as bad as that Sarah girl's outfit, in my opinion.
She's playing a lot. She's playing football the next day with those shoulder pads.
I mean, they're like pointy too.
God.
They're like, I mean, something. So, okay, what did you think about the trying on montage? I love it. It's so stupid.
I think it's stupid. I think it starts off with a horrible bop but it turns into a better horrible bop that they're dancing to. And like they do this in all these movies, maybe just 2, including this one. But I really want to know if girls, I don't care if you're shirtless or not, you can be fully clothed for all I care. I want to know if girls ever just stand side by side in like single file line or whatever and like doo-wop forward and doo-wop back and doo-wop forward and and snap.
No, but our lives would be a lot more fun if we did that, probably.
That's true.
I mean, but did you notice too that in that scene, Beth is just sitting there not doing anything because she's the ruiner of all the parties and all the fun.
Well, and that was her real life ruining herself because she had a nudity clause that they didn't know, and she was supposed to be topless as well. So she's just there sucking out all of the joy of all these titties. She's like a creepy joy sucker of titties. Just sitting there.
Joy killed. She's definitely a party pooper.
But it made me give her like creepy lesbian vibes. Like, be a lesbian.
Yeah.
I'm really cool with that. I'm gay, right? But like it made her seem creepy. Like just sitting there, like hugging her knees, like bouncing on the bed, watching them get all naked and change and dance together. It was a little stalkerish to me. I'm like,
oh no, I thought it
brother
was
like sister, like brother like sister.
I thought it was creepy. Yeah, I thought it was. So, and then she has some kind of and during that, doesn't she have some kind of like freak out, and that's why they have to like stop stop trying on clothes because she freaks out.
I think so. And doesn't she have one before that as well? She has one that morning.
She has one in school. Well, she has one in school and one in the morning before.
And one in the morning when she looks in the mirror and this guy just looks at her and she doesn't even move. Neither one of them. They're like the soulless, lifeless turds staring at each other. He just stabs the mirror and she's just like.
Which that was a pretty cool like little thing.
That was like the best effects in the whole movie was when the knife went through the mirror.
That's like, the effects aren't what's wrong with the movie, even though like there is lack of it, so it doesn't really matter. But like,
that's true.
Okay, so that's when we get to where Linda is now she's like, oh yeah, sure, I can help you. I'm a dream expert. So, basically that's what she doesn't say. She's a dream expert. That's basically what she's like. That's what she's studying in school. She's like, yeah, then you get to her being a dream expert. So
it's like, move over Sigmund Freud. We got Linda now.
With Y, which I didn't know.
What'd you say?
With a Y, but I didn't realize it was with a Y. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but move over Sigmund Freud. We have another expert in dream theory over here. She's a dream worker.
She's not a dream warrior, though.
Not a dream warrior. Well, I wish that she had said she's a dream warrior, because clearly at the beginning when Beth is talking to these kids, I get it's her family as maybe in the past or whatever, but that's clearly an homage. Yeah, clearly an homage to just the creepy kids. But yeah, but keep going back to Linda and her academia.
Well, okay, I wrote this down because I took notes while I was watching it. So I wrote this down in 2 separate parts, because she does this and then another, like a bunch of annoying stuff happens, and then it comes back around to this. So I'll just go to both of those parts and not go to the in between, because I was like just thinking about a lot of things, like why did they not take off this girl's clothes? It's Cindy. Her name was Cindy. Why didn't they take off her clothes before they started this drink? Like eating the ice cream that Sarah has always wished to eat. So, because they're eating ice cream while she's analyzing her dream.
I mean, this is the 80s, so if it's Superman ice cream, that was probably pretty novel back then.
Well, she gets some on her dress. So, anyway, so she goes. So you find out that dream imagery is Linda's major, which I was assuming at first she was just going to be like, oh, I'm a psychology major or something like that. I didn't think she would say, because I just didn't think it would be a necessary element of the movie. So
no, but it was a very necessary element of the movie.
Especially because then a few other things happen, and then Sarah says something about reincarnation, and Linda's like so offended because she's like, oh my gosh, blasphemy on my college major. And I was like, your college major is not dreams. Like, you can't have that as a college major. So like, what kind of school are y'all going to? Like, I wrote down if they go into like wizard school or some kind of like supernatural college.
I mean, again, it is LA. I don't know what they do over there in the 80s.
That's true. Oh God. Oh, and can we talk about the fact that also, like, that, let me just go back a little bit, that, well, okay, if you've seen the Slumber Party Massacre 3, the trailer for it, then the scenes from the beginning of this movie in the house are taken. Well, they took that for Slumber Party Massacre 3, the trailer, because the trailer for Slumber Party Massacre 3 has like scenes of the inside of this house. It's not ones with the dolls' head. It's just like the weird like POV shots of like walking through the house. They're in this trailer for Slumber Party Massacre 3.
Yeah, they've totally screwed this entire franchise up, and they've had intersex and all this stuff with all of these things.
Except for they didn't decide to have any like crossovers until Hard to Die, which is like the Sorority House Massacre 3. But
I can't wait to discuss that.
Yeah, which we won't. Listen, I don't like the Orville Ketchum guy, so I mean, whatever. But all the other movies are pretty much standalone.
True.
Well, because we have 1 and 2, Slumber Party Massacre 1 and 2, and then Sorority House Massacre 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Are standalone kind of movies that have crossovers with each other. Yeah. Besides that, they're not like in the same. The only thing that they have in common, like as a trilogy and as trilogies, I guess, are that Roger Corman had his name attached to both of them. But other than that,
and the covers of the boxes never has anybody on them, really, for most of the time.
The second one of Slumber Party Massacre do.
But not everyone in there. Not everybody on the covers in the movie.
No, but this one specific. This one I remember more than all the other ones. And maybe I just watched this. I don't know why my parents were like, okay.
There's
cool.
a girl taking her pink negligee off, and there's a guy.
I was like, why I was like, oh, I want to watch this movie out of it, because there's no reason. There's just no reason. I would have been like, but this is the one I remember. Well, and the girl on the front she's not in any of the movies or anything. No,
she looks like a young Judith Light to me almost. Yeah. But and then the tagline, "Who'll survive the final exam?" What final exam?
Mine says a slash course in absolute terror.
Oh, see, mine says that too, but at the very top.
It says at the top, yeah. Who will survive the final exam?
What final exam? And DreamWorks? Linda's trying. She is trying to pass, but we'll see if she survives.
Oh my gosh.
Also, the killer on the cover looks like he could be a total babe. I mean, he kind of looks like he'd be hot. Like, he should be on Melrose Place, like from the back.
You know what? I've never noticed that he had a knife in his hand until just now. I've never noticed the guy, really. I've just noticed his shadow on the side.
A shadow? It's a whole person.
I just thought it was a shadow of his head. I didn't see the left side. I never noticed.
You didn't see the bottom, hit the half of his back wearing a blue sweater?
No, that's not on mine. It's just it cuts off right below his neck.
We have different covers than I think. I have a DVD.
Oh, well, you used to have the VHS.
I did. Well, I do downstairs, I think, plugged in a tote box.
Okay.
Dang. Tote bag's in a closet.
Body bag in a closet. No, it's not. It is never body bag either. What
It's
was
never
it?
a body bag. It's a garment bag.
A garment bag.
We're
Whatever.
quoting Slumber Party Massacre 3.
Well, it's basically, I don't know. I've watched all of these at like around the same time. Well, actually, that's not even true. I remember part 2 of Slumber Party Massacre and 3, and then this one as like the ones I remember the most watching.
We watched this one a whole lot.
Yeah, we must have, because I remember it the most probably. I remember like the more than the Slumber Party Massacres.
We watched this one a lot.
Were we like thinking that we were? I mean, I'm sure I romanced.
Maybe I wanted to be in a sorority. I don't know.
I think I probably was like, oh, I wish that I had a boyfriend like in this movie.
It's just, just
in
mean,
general.
The acting was so bad, like, but
yeah, and okay, so these guys show up, which by the way, okay, I mean, really,
guys always show up.
No reason though, because one of the guys, and maybe you can tell me different, but at the end you find one of them, because I thought all of them had left except for, well, I thought that Craig and the other guy that was there for Beth had stayed, but I thought the other 2 guys had left, but one of them you see later is murdered. But what happened to the other guy?
So there's 3 guys, right? There should be Andy. There's 4 guys. There's Andy, John, Craig, and Robert. So Andy is the guy that gets killed in the front yard, where he looks like Poindexter wearing that yellowish shirt.
Yeah, you find it, but he falls in later.
Well, they kill him. Well, he gets stabbed in the front yard.
And then he falls in the house later on.
Okay, yeah. And then John is spooning Beth on the couch, and she's like, does this move.
He stabs him, and then Craig, we know what happens to him. So what about the other guy?
Wait, that's all of them. Robert is the killer. Isn't that the only? Isn't it just Andy, John, and Craig?
Well, I guess I thought that.
Is there a Bobby?
No, that's the killer.
Oh.
Okay, there was a guy. Then I feel like, okay, Craig was there for Tracy. Who was there for Linda? That's what I was. Who was her boyfriend? Did she have a boyfriend?
Maybe she did. She's probably.
I thought she did though. I thought at the beginning she did.
I only know of Andy, John, and Craig.
Okay, so there's something. I guess I thought that you would know, so I was like, "Oh, I don't need to go back and watch," but I guess I will.
Yeah, I think it's just Andy, John, and Craig.
Because I feel like Linda had a boyfriend there at the beginning, and then he just kind of disappears.
Well, that could be a plot hole, or maybe she dreamed it.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked though if it was a plot hole. I mean.
Yeah.
So okay, so the guys show up, and then they're all inside talking about it, right? Because that's when Sarah or Beth gets all freaked out.
As in talking about what's it, like what the family murders, or
yeah. Well, he's the guy that's there for Beth is like telling a ghost story, quote unquote, but it really ends up being the story about the house.
Right. Yeah. John's doing it. Yeah.
So
then she goes to bed and then she dreams like she has another nightmare. Because they went to bed real early. Her and that other girl that she shared a room with, they went to bed early. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, they go to bed at it seems like the guys just get there and then they're like, okay, well, bye.
Yeah.
Because I did quote, well, maybe that's later, but John is like, I don't know why he ends up saying it, but he's like, are you scared of sex or something? And Beth's like, scared of sex? Not that I know of. What?
Not that I know of. Yeah, awkward.
Not that I know of. Awkward. Okay. So she's like, well, peace out, bro. Which I don't understand why that guy even stayed. Because I feel like everyone's kind of like, peace out, except for Craig and Tracy.
Yeah, Craig and Tracy went to their TP. Yeah. Andy got killed or stabbed in the front yard. Well, not yet. He gets stabbed later. I don't know why John stayed around. And then but then later on, Beth wakes back up and goes and snuggles on the couch with him.
Right. That's because they haven't gone out to the TP yet. Something happens in between there because she goes to bed. She has the dream, and then everyone's still down there. And
then she wakes up, and Linda hypnotizes her after her dream.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Because then they're watching a scary movie whenever she's starts laying on the couch with him.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I wish I could remember what they're watching. I can't though. So that's when she's like, well, I can try hypnotism.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, why? Like, really?
She has to have some clinical practice hours for her masters, okay?
God. She gonna have her friends sign it. Like, sign off on this and say that I hypnotized you and say how fun it was.
Totally hypnotized. 10 out of 10 would do again.
Yeah. So
Defo worked.
when is it that okay, so I guess it's then that they're talking about she like says that she tells them where to find the knife. Right?
That's
when she's been hypnotized.
Yes, in the fireplace.
Yeah. So that's when really. Oh, and before that, you have Bobby, who's her brother. When he randomly just goes in this convenience store. Okay, I'm sorry, but like usually, at least with like Michael Myers or whoever the fuck, there was a reason why you saw these people get murdered. You know, like when they were.
There was a reason.
No,
he storms in the hardware store, smashes.
I didn't even know it was this hardware store. Yeah, I thought it was like No. It had everything.
Well,
it was like like Salvation Army. It looked like.
Well, it did look like but it was. I think it was a hardware store. He goes in there. He Hulk smashes the display case, takes the knife, and stabs the owner, and then leaves. He needed a weapon. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It just was really over the top.
It was really random. He runs in there like Hulk.
And he doesn't kill the woman that he's still in the car for him either. He just leaves her.
Yeah, he didn't kill her.
Yeah. So he's like, whatever.
He just killed the poor old store owner.
And God, there's so much. There really is. Like, think about it. Think about how much we've talked about. We're almost near the end, and we're missing. Like, we keep on being like, "Oh no, that was this time," because there's so little that happens.
Well, and I think one of the confusing parts why it's a struggle to talk about. It's because no matter who it is, there's like really 3 things are happening the entire movie. One of those things is Beth shows no emotion and can't act. One of those things is Bobby shows no emotion and can't act. And then the third thing is Linda wants to hypnotize everybody the whole movie. So like that happens.
And also like the fact that she keeps on being like, she's like, okay, I'm in the party. And then like we seemingly have this quote unquote party, but it ends so fast. And they're like, okay, well, I'm going home now. Bye.
Deuces.
So they have like one scene and she's like, well, I'm going to bed. And then she wakes back up. So then somehow creep John is still there. I think he just hung out and he was watching that movie, and then later on they weren't watching a movie until later.
Well, we don't know what he was doing.
That's true, but I feel like that's a creep move. Oh, you're supposed to be because at one point later, even later after at one point she says, "Oh, yeah, I'm a really fun date." Or something.
And we were like, yeah, woo, woo, woo.
Okay. No, I do remember whenever she goes to sleep and then she has a nightmare before she gets hypnotized.
Yeah.
She's like, when she does like scream, they go in there and I think it's Tracy's like, other people have to sleep in here. I'm like, rude. Like
me to her.
She's like, that's how we know she's not just visiting. Cause she goes like, if you're going to be in this sorority, basically, she's like, you can't like come in here and be screaming all the time in here. Cause other people have to sleep.
Go outside, scream in the teepee with Tracy and Craig.
No, they weren't in the teepee yet. They weren't in the teepee for very long.
They were gonna be right after.
I mean, they had talked about it, and then so then that's when he says something like, he goes, "I think you're haunted," and she's like, "Maybe I am." What kind of fucking first date is this? Like, if you thought she was haunted, also crazy alert,
right?
No.
And there is this book that I've read. Speaking of girls that are haunted, no, it's called The Haunted Vagina.
Oh, you told me about it.
It kind of makes me think that Beth could be it. Like basically, she's gonna like let John go into her vagina, and there's like a parallel world in there, and then Linda would have a field day with it.
Linda would have a field day in there, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe that's why you don't notice her having a boyfriend, or she doesn't have one, because she's just stuck there.
She's just stuck there.
In my notes, after I talk about the haunted Beth, I wrote, Craig is such a pussy.
Oh,
oh, and you know why? It's because I guess they go out to the thing before that, because she hits him or something like that. I don't know why I wrote that.
It might be because,
right after that, I wrote some guy just killed Tracy. So
exactly. It might be because right after he runs through the house naked
he runs
with tennis
away.
shoes.
He runs away while she's like fighting the killer.
She's literally they're on the ground wrestling, and she's topless, titties bouncing everywhere, and he's just stabbing the hell out of her chest. And then Craig runs away naked with his tennis shoes on through the sorority house. Some guy just killed Tracy.
Hey,
it's like,
some guy just killed Tracy.
It's almost like, hey, we're out of bagel bites.
Yeah, he does say it like that.
So maybe that's why, because that was very sus and very horrid. So
I did write what happened to the two other dudes, Linda and Sarah's dudes. So I mean, I must have seen some guy there for Linda.
I really only know of John Craig and Andy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I wrote that.
Maybe you saw Beth and she looked like a boy. I don't know.
Oh my God. Well, she does. So yeah, she's awful. Anyway, okay. So God just killed Tracy. So they are fighting against Bobby now, but he's not really he's already killed John. But besides that, he's just like kind of chasing. I mean, he's not even really chasing them.
Yeah, he's still outside at this point. Like, he went back outside, and so then they're up in the bedroom. They've all barricaded themselves in the bedroom, and they're all like, maybe we can get out the window. And they like have this like makeshift like hook ladder that you hang over a window frame.
Because apparently Sarah's mom is like afraid she's gonna get murdered.
So, well, good for her mom for looking out for her, because otherwise...
right, Steve's gone rafting. He can't be there. Sorry, I just realized that.
That's why he went rafting.
Yeah,
there was somebody
rafting. Yeah.
So then they're all like, well, we're gonna go out the window. So at this point, I think it's Beth, Sarah, Linda.
No, it's Beth, Sarah, Linda, and Craig. Yeah.
And so they throw the ladder over the window, and Craig goes first. And as Craig gets to the bottom, oops, just like everybody else in this movie who's either stabbed in the front or stabbed in the back. Yeah. He's stabbed in the back.
But there's no, it doesn't show anything.
Nothing. It shows, nothing. And then, like, there's more. And then, right when I think Linda's halfway down when Craig is stabbed, so she starts coming back up.
Well, she doesn't know actually that he doesn't make any noise.
Right, but
she's almost like halfway down. Then she looks down and Bobby's like at the bottom.
Exactly. So then she starts running back up the ladder, and as they get up the ladder, Bobby's climbing the ladder, and they're trying to like lift it over and drop him. And when he grabs onto the windowsill, his hands have more blood on them than we've basically seen most of the movie.
Yeah.
And so what would you do, Emily, if there was a lunatic, escaped mental patient who's hanging on to your windowsill? What would your first reaction be?
Well, I probably would have done what they did.
Would it be to close your fists loosely like a toddler and start smashing him like pow, 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 like doing nothing?
Well, I probably would have closed the window on it, but I can't really say.
Well, would you have grabbed perfume and started spraying his fingers with perfume? Why were they spraying his fingers with perfume? To like burn the cuts? I mean, what?
I don't know. That part was...
They were like, spray, 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 like poopery gone by. I don't know what they were doing. That again, no. So that did it for me. It was the spraying of his hands for me with perfume.
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, well, because they seem like they're not that dumb before that. At this point, because
Linda's not. She's the dream major.
No, you're right. So, and she can hypnotize people like nobody's business. So it's like whatever. So she just like the way that they just throw, like they think to block him on one side. So that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when he like starts coming up the ladder, they are going to throw the ladder, which usually, honestly, in 1986, you would probably see them not doing that. I mean, there's a lot of dumb things that happen in those slasher movies where there's like, that seems like such an obvious thing that they would forget to do. You know what I mean?
Like take the ladder away. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
totally.
Usually they would have been like having them try to fight them on the ladder or something.
Or they would have run out the room and let him run in the ladder.
Yeah. Or something like that. So that I kind of like forgot because I didn't remember what happened right there. I mean, I know what happens in the movie, but like not like the specifics of it when I watched it again. And I was like, oh, well, maybe that'll happen. I was like, no, actually they weren't that dumb there. And then I'm just like, oh, never mind. So they start like spraying his hands and stuff. And then.
But then he falls.
Yeah. But. Go on.
Yeah, then he falls. So then they're like, oh, he might be dead. So then they try to escape. But what really blows my mind, and maybe you can explain, I don't know, maybe it's a plot hole or maybe I watched it wrong. When they run to escape, why do they run to the backyard and not out the front door?
Because the front door is like locked or something.
Okay, unlock it.
Because, well, that's why they go into the basement later, because the key, I'm going to explain it, but my explanation doesn't make it sound that much better.
Okay.
So basically, they act like that's the only way out. Even if they went out back, they act like there's no way that they could like jump across a lawn. Nothing. So the reason they have to go in the basement at the end is because the key for the front door is in that they have like the woman tells Beth at the beginning, she's like, there's an extra key in the basement if y'all need it. Well, I didn't know that was the only way you could get out of the house.
Yeah, fire hazard.
Is because I didn't know it was like that. Serious.
If sorority has these fire codes that they're breaking, I wonder if fraternity on the same campus has same fire code violations, because that seems dangerous as fuck.
Oh, it's super. Yeah, and also I did right here. Intolerance Indian statue scene. So I guess they did get scared by the statue at some point. So.
Oh my God.
But that's not who they fall on when they die. Because they're like, he thinks it's Janet or whatever, the sister.
Yeah. So
and then they turn around and none of them. Sarah falls over Tracy's body. They were all going in the same direction, except for when they turned around. And then that is a plot hole to me, because I was like, why did she only fall? Like, okay. If they all turned, they act like they were going a separate direction.
Well, you can't kill the dream major yet.
Yet, that's what I'd say.
So after this, so after Sarah falls and after she dies, then they go back into the house. They go back into the basement. Then I think Beth starts having her little epiphanies here about.
She's like, I think this was my family. No shit.
Yeah, about the house, and I don't know if they get the key or not, but they end up going back upstairs.
They do. That's why they go back upstairs, because they get the key and they're like, oh, okay, run. And because one of them has the key.
I gotcha. Yeah.
I think it's Linda that has the key.
And then Bobby starts chasing them again. And then you think that her, Bobby and Beth, like face to face finally, like you think like it's going to be some epiphany. No, it's basically just crawling on the ground like slugs.
Oh my God. I wrote slowest final struggle scene of all time.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you really?
That was my last note. Yeah.
They're just like crawling around on like slugs. And thank God that Linda just shows up out of nowhere and starts hitting him with a shovel.
Yeah. It still goes on forever after that.
She hits him like 20 times, which again, what you said earlier about the ladder, this is great. Like usually they just stop after one. Oh, he's dead. Well, you hit him 20 times. He still didn't die yet. Linda, sorry. Now you're stabbed. And then we go back to the slow slug struggle of Beth and Bobby. And then how does he get killed? Also stabbed. Like everybody just stabbed. Like yawn. I can't even rank a kill in this movie. If I had to rank my favorite kill, I'm probably going to rank Tracy, just because she had a great set of boobs. I mean, and she got killed.
Yeah, I guess I would say John, just because it's the only one I can remember.
I mean,
honestly. Like,
what a total dick move, too. Another reason I think that she might be into the women's is because she totally just dicks him over and rolls off the couch. Like,
yeah. She doesn't give a fuck.
She
about
doesn't
anybody.
give a shit.
Horrible.
How about when Linda's being after she kills Robert or Bobby, then Linda's just sitting there, and all of a sudden you hear the ambulances, and Beth's like, "Wait, I'll get you a phone." I'm like, "Girl, that ain't gonna help a stab wound in her back. Getting her a fucking phone."
Yeah, and I thought maybe Linda still has a chance, because I mean, he only stabbed her once, and then they come in, and she doesn't even say anything about Linda. Like, I would be like, "Don't worry about me yet." My friend's over here, like, yeah, it's bleeding to death. I'm okay, but no, she just is like, "Yeah, sure, help me."
But I'll get you a phone. What? Oh, my other favorite quote of hers is went before I think it's before the ladder and the window scene, when they're all up in that bedroom, right after I think John was killed or whatnot, they're all up in that bedroom. Beth just goes, maybe he'll go away. Like, what? He's literally just killed your quote unquote date. He killed Craig's date. He's like, maybe he'll go away. Like, what? Sorry, I can't.
She's so dumb.
She's the worst.
She really is. She sucks. Like, I don't like her. And it does make sense that she was a part in, the decline of. Well, she didn't get naked in it. Angela O'Neill.
Yeah, that's her.
Bitch.
Bitch.
She's. Yeah, whatever. She's just in the art department in other movies. So.
You poor man's Courtney Cox.
She really is, and she is wearing that same like. Well, Courtney Cox, did she wear like a flannel in anything? Why am I imagining her in a flannel?
She might have in Masters of the Universe, but I know she wore a jean jacket in that as well. But I don't know if
what did she wear in the Bruce Springsteen video?
Wasn't it just like a white shirt?
Yeah, but didn't she have something on? I don't know.
I don't know. I just know she swayed her. She was just snapping a lot, like snap, and looking fierce.
Looking more fierce than Beth.
Looking more fierce than, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so, yeah, once again, I will say I think you said it actually, but whatever. Neither of us understand why we liked this so much when we were younger. So. But
I'm still going to recommend it to people, even though I'm probably going to give it either 1.5 or 2 stars.
Out of 10?
Out of 5.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah.
5.
Sorry.
Duh. Even though it's really low ranking, it's still really entertaining and it's worth a laugh. And
Is it as entertaining as we thought it was?
I saw some new things I'd never noticed before, like, because I just watched Willy Wonka with my husband a few nights ago, and I was like,
one?
Yeah, the original, and I was like, homegirl's wearing lookable wallpaper over here. Like, I wouldn't have thought about that. So it's always interesting to see what since high school, my sass and wit will observe in a rewatch like this. This is not one I would pick to watch over them, but I would recommend this but I would give it with a disclaimer or a warning.
Yeah, which I'm shocked that I would give it with a disclaimer.
I'd have to just be like, hey, I rated this 1.5 or 2 stars, but I still want you to watch it.
Yeah, which is a bit shocking because I used to I feel like this wasn't one that I would be like, I would never say, oh my God, you have to see this. I would have never said that about this.
I would have.
I don't think I would have, but I would have been like, yeah, let's watch it. Cool. Awesome. And I don't feel like that now.
Yeah. And because again, all the kills are the exact same. The only kill that's, I think, any different is the very first kill with a doctor or nurse where his head smashed into the wall. But every other person is either stabbed in the stomach or stabbed in the back or stabbed in the neck. Like, it's like the exact same kill. So it's just the same movie over and over. Nobody can act. It's a ripoff of Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street and whatever you want to say with Dreams. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a mixture of like Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th, but with none of the appeal.
Of any of them.
Shit. Yeah.
With negative appeal of all three. It's like all of them, but with
a horrible lead girl too. I've always heard people say that about Final Girls, be like, I wanted her to die the whole time, being like, I didn't care. And I've always been like, even with like bad ones, like girls that I don't really like as Final Girls, like Freddy versus Jason or something, I still don't like hate them, but I hate her. Like, I was just like, she's awful.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the lead in Last Slumber Party. She reminds me a lot of her, honestly, because they're both so like, oh my God. At least the girl in Last Slumber Party had she had negative appeal. She was a total asshole and she was like very homophobic, but at least she would like say funny stuff that was like, I can't believe you just said that, but at least you're saying stuff. But she was just as like, she sucked the life out of the room.
Exactly.
Like in this. And you know what? I feel like Last Slumber Party took a lot from this movie, honestly. like the hospital scenes and stuff, like when it was like talking about him in the hospital and like walking it around the hospital. Because there's those scenes in Last Slumber Party that I feel like are taken like straight from this movie.
Speaking of the hospital scene, which is also like an homage to like Friday the 13th, where
and Halloween
the boy
too.
and the boy, where's the boy? And then all of a sudden
yeah.
the curtain opens and it's Bobby, and he goes, Beth.
Yeah, so now are we supposed to like look into that and be like, oh, he's like realized that she's not Laura anymore, but he's still going to come after her, but he's like dead, so he's like coming after her.
Yeah, he calls her Beth finally, which is so bizarre. And he's
but it's like there's no like there is nothing in that
well, it makes as much sense as young Jason jumping out of the water, getting the girl at the end of Friday the 13th. Like, it makes no sense. It's just supposed to be like a shocking scare factor ending, because for Friday the 13th at the time, that was a very scare factor shocking ending.
Yeah, but that was also like in 1980, not in 86.
Yeah, well, it was also with better music, better acting, better shocking, better effects.
I'm just saying, like, adding that in.
He threw open a yellow curtain and went, Beth.
I like how you had to like take your own personality down when you said that. I heard you like take it out. You're like, Beth.
Well, and I also had to like ghost move. I had to open a curtain. Like, I had to mime it. I opened the curtain and went and put my head down and went, Beth. So usually at the end of our episodes, you give us some trivia. However, is this even?
We've already talked about most of the trivia in it, I think.
Yeah, like we just scattered it throughout. There's nothing else that we.
Yeah, there's like the girl that's on the cover was in Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
But I didn't say that before. But her name's Susie Slater. She played Leslie Todd in Chopping Mall. So, that, but also, and we already talked about how Beth was hired without knowing, or the girl that played Beth, without knowing the role required nudity. I don't know how you would, okay, so it was originally titled Simply Sorority. Even if you were trying out for Simply Sorority, you really didn't think that role required you to be topless?
Right? Please, like, that sounds like a porn title. Like, I would be like, first of all, is this an actual horror movie or is this an adult film? Yeah,
and then she was like she threatened to walk off the set. Well, I wish you had, because maybe this movie would have been good.
I wish you had.
So it says, noticeably in the changing clothes montage, she's sitting on the bed conspicuously out of sight in the shot of the three friends changing clothes and flashing their breasts. Well, you know what? Obviously, she wasn't their friend.
And it ain't conspicuous. It's stalkerishly. It ain't conspicuously.
Yeah, it's not conspicuous.
It's like, I was waiting on all this to be in her head. To be honest, I was waiting on this to all be in her head, and like she being like this lusty lesbian killer. Like,
I would have, at least I would have. Yeah.
She has issues that she hasn't dealt with herself, but it turns out they were just actually repressed images of her family being massacred. So those are different issues than another internal identity struggle. Which those
scenes are actually pretty cool, by the way.
They are. Those are the coolest scenes. The faceless kids with blood pouring all of their eyes and shit.
Yeah, that scene, and there's a picture of that on the back of my box. But like the faceless kids, that's actually probably the scariest part of the movie, honestly.
Well, other than the acting, but yes.
Yeah, but like legit, like creepy.
Yeah, so I said 1.5 to 2 stars. So what would you rank it?
Probably 2. Would watch again.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I didn't have the nostalgia with this movie, I don't even know if I give it a star. But it clouds my judgment. So.
I don't know if I'd give it a star.
I don't know. I really don't. But it really, like, this movie is so nostalgic for me. It's so much fun, and I really have no clue why, because it's not fun.
That's true. Well, for my final thoughts, I'm just going to say I hope everyone stays gagged, everyone goes rafting, and everyone just knows where the knife is hidden. Stay gagged. Yeah, I wish any of those things had really come to play during the movie. So that's what I wish. So stay gagged, and gag me with a knife, gag you with a knife, and gag these sorority bitches with a knife. So see you later. Whoop, whoop.
house will rock. Blind boys don't lie. Immortal fear, that voice so clear through broken walls. That scream I hear. Cry, little sister. Come to your brother. Chinese sister. Love is with your brother. Blue masquerade, strangers look on. When will they learn this loneliness? Temptation heat beats like a drum deep in your veins. I'll live 9 lives, little sister.